Okay, worldwide, the company business is about 80% of our turnover is in exports. Currency-wise, I don't know what it is, but something between 70 and 80% is in US dollars. Some 10, 15 is in euros, and a very, very small amount is in GBP. So very, very high export. We're exporting as much as we can, but the truth is that the consultancy and the laboratory testing, the R&D and the training courses, this requires a lot of hard work to export this. And we export it largely through recommendations and direct contacts. For example, we will get recommended by the oil companies. There's a wonderful grapevine exists in the industry where power stations talk to each other and they sell each other, you know, they've had a problem and if they get into trouble, come and see us, etc. So it's about technical selling. We don't sell through trade shows. Trade shows don't do us any good at all. We sell through technical presentations at technical meetings and at technical exhibitions, not through trade shows, and not much. If we advertise, we don't think it does much good there. So this requires a lot of effort to sell. The on-site test kits, certainly for the aviation industry, they sell themselves, but it's a major part now of our turnover is actually in the on-site testing. And we sell these either directly, we have a very, very good courier service from the UK, and I always tell people that we actually had a problem in an expedition at the North Pole, and we had our test kits in the North Pole within a few days. So we export a lot directly from Cardiff, and we sell obviously through distributors and resellers. In China, of course, like all the other airlines, they were being pushed by IATA into testing the aircraft. So all of the airlines in China are members of IATA, and they have been pushed into testing their aircraft. And this creates a demand, and of course the demand is, because there's nobody like us out there, is going to the people who normally supply the airline industry. So these are people who supply lubricants and supply paints, etc. People who have no microbiological background, and this is one of the problems we have. And we were fairly well inundated by lots of people saying, you know, can we sell your products? And as a result of that, we've decided we had to go out there. And in 2007, IATA were having a technical meeting to actually put the gospel over to Chinese airlines. And with the technical meeting was a technical exhibition, and we presented a paper at the meeting. Chinese airlines came along, and so did potential distributors. So at this meeting, we were able to identify people who we thought would be potential distributors there. And this was supported by the Welsh Trade and Industry, as far as our bit was concerned. And just afterwards, we went out again because we had to sift the sort of wheat from the chaff and decide who would actually be our best partners out there. And we took a marketing consultant with us, and as a result of that, we nominated one company as being the prime importer out there, but we were also keeping a few other people interested as well. And we went to their major clients, again, to provide some technical input there to how the test kits could be used, because if you just bought a test kit, you wasted your money unless you know what the result means. So there's still quite a lot of technical input there. And we've now got 5 other people involved in selling into China. They all wanted exclusivity for selling, and none of them got it. This is, I think, a bit of advice from CBBC. They all just rolled over and accepted it. And where are we now? So we've got 6 people who are, one way or another, getting our products into China. And our Chinese sales now are about a total of 15% of our total exports. North America is the biggest, and I think China is the second in terms of geographical areas there. Now, the funny thing is that, you know, we have no control over this. The orders are coming from the airlines into these 6 people we got, or 6 companies we are cooperating with out there, but it's not going in very directly. Only about 20% is going into mainland China. About 60% is going in via Hong Kong, and about 17% is going in through Taiwan. Don't ask me why, I don't know, but that's the way it's going into China, and I think there are problems with that. Almost all of the things we export there are to the airline industry. It's the easy one. It's in the book. People have got to do it there. So almost all of the test kit sales are to airlines and aircraft maintenance bases. And we have some problems. What are the problems? The first thing is that, but it's not been mentioned at all, and very rarely mentioned, every country or every area has a chemical inventory, and that lists the chemicals you're allowed to import into that country. And one of the ingredients in our test kit is not on the Chinese chemical inventory. So theoretically, we are not allowed to import the test kits into China. However, with the help of a major oil company who had an interest in doing this, we got the chemical allowed in for research and development use, provided the annual input was not more than 5 tons. And this still applies, and we're not rocking the boat, because at some stage they could easily turn around and say, well, hang on, this is, after all this time, it's not R&D anymore. You know, this is just a product which is selling there. So the first glitch we've got in it is that we are not on the Chinese inventory. And I'm sure the same must apply to other biochemical and chemical companies in the UK, that they have to look at this chemical inventory. We get hold-ups in customs, and we sometimes think that people have got their hand out for something. We never ever succumb to anything like this. And in fact, because it's pulled by the airline industry, if we simply say, look, we sent you the product, it's held up in customs, they will let out a yell and the thing magically gets out of customs there. We've had attempts to get our proprietary information. Allegedly, the customs say that we need all this information about what is in your products, etc. And we can't release the product until we get it. And again, advised by CBBC, we said, nix. And we just dug our heels in. And again, because it's being pulled by the aviation industry, they gave way on it. So that came to nothing. Our product is trade named throughout China, and all of the airline manuals give it by trade name. So we're protected there. We are not protected by patents in China, and I'm interested in what our CBBC colleague said just now, that what are the difficulties of patenting in China. There have been some weird attempts to pay us in weak currencies, which we're not interested in, and we simply ask for US dollars, which is not really a problem. And we have not got as a company, we haven't got anybody on the ground there. We are dealing only through these Chinese companies and Taiwanese companies there. So the disappointments in this are that we're only selling into the aviation industry. These distributors and resellers are middlemen. They're not really interested in technology, they're interested in commodities. They just want things in and things out again. So they're not putting much technical effort into this. And for our point of view, the aviation industry, there are 23,000 aircraft in the aviation industry, and that's a finite market. Now, it's increasing in China, but it is a finite market. And to improve sales in China, we have to get into these other market areas which I was talking about. And all the people we got involved with little microbiological knowledge, not offering much technical support. We could retrain them, but they are not the sort of people. So they're really interested in getting product in and shoving it out through the door without putting much technical input into it. That's unlike the distributors we have in the rest of the world, who are technically savvy and who do get into these other markets. It doesn't happen in China. And as I say, because so much product is getting in there by the back door, we are not providing the level of technical service or the development of new markets which we would like to do there. So, in a nutshell, the Chinese potential is many, many times more than we are doing. I have a guess, 5 times more, 6 times more. The potential is very big there. We're not beating it. So we are trying to solve these few problems. How do we get into these other markets? How do we get on the Chinese chemical inventory? How do we get technical routes in? Because in Europe, we get technical routes that, for example, that's a book published by the Marine Engineers Institute. Actually, they were here at one time. And that is, I edited this book, and it's got all the technology about dealing with microbes in marine fuel. And I'm over my time by a mile. We have a problem getting into these technical markets. How do we sell all these other products? So far, so good, but not good enough. And I said, we still have a lot of problems to solve there. Thank you very much.